here in Washington. Former special counsel Jack Smith is testifying behind closed doors to a GOP-led committee investigating his investigation of Donald Trump during his time out of power. Smith is rejecting President Trump's allegations that he was out to get him. In his opening statement obtained by CNN, Smith said, quote, "The basis for those charges rests entirely with President Trump and his actions."
So like you're not going to believe what just happened in Congress. And this is honestly one of the most dramatic and most chaotic moments we've seen in a very long time. Because Democrats basically tried to impeach Trump again for what they think are serious offenses, and the whole thing blew up in their faces spectacularly and completely backfired on them. Picture this. It's February 27th, 2026, and the House of Representatives is having a massive and heated floor debate about impeachment. The debate is incredibly intense and incredibly passionate and incredibly emotional.
Biggest headline right now is that he's talking. He's not taking the fifth. He's not declining to answer questions. We know that Smith is responding to questions of the committee. That's notable, not just because it's notable to have this former special counsel testifying for the very first time in a setting like this. It's also notable because the knives are out for him.
The debate is heated and full of anger and frustration from both sides of the aisle. The debate is being live-streamed live on television and on YouTube, so millions of people across Discover More transcription services, 125+ language translation text translation service. The country can watch it unfold in real time and see what's happening in Congress and what the representatives are saying. Democrats are standing up making passionate speeches about why Trump should be impeached and removed from office immediately. Democrats are talking extensively about the Epstein files that have been released and about Trump's knowledge of Epstein's crimes and about what Trump said to the police chief back in 2006.
To support H-Res 939, House Resolution 939. This resolution, House 939, impeaching Donald John Trump, President of the United States, for high crimes and misdemeanors.
Democrats are talking about the ICE controversies and about the aggressive immigration enforcement that's caused deaths and injuries, and that's caused people to be arrested without proper warrants or due process. Democrats are saying that Trump's actions have violated people's constitutional rights and basic human rights, and that they can't stand by quietly. Democrats are talking about all the chaos and the dysfunction and the massive turnover in Trump's administration that we've documented throughout this video series. Democrats are saying that these actions constitute high crimes and misdemeanors under the Constitution. Democrats are saying that Trump has abused his power as president. Democrats are saying that Trump needs to be removed from office immediately. Democrats are saying that the House has a constitutional duty to impeach him and that they can't just stand by and do nothing and pretend everything is fine.
Today, in service to our duty to the Constitution and to our country, the House Committee on the Judiciary is introducing 2 articles of impeachment charging the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, with committing high crimes and misdemeanors.
And the Republicans are fighting back hard against these charges and against these accusations and against this impeachment effort. Republicans are standing up and defending Trump aggressively and passionately. Republicans are saying that this is a witch hunt and a partisan attack. Republicans are saying that Democrats are just being partisan and trying to use impeachment as a political weapon to take Trump down and to gain political advantage ahead of the midterms.
You got to win the midterms, because if we don't win the midterms, it's just going to be, they'll find a reason to impeach me. I'll get impeached. We don't impeach them. You know why? Because they're meaner than we are. We should have impeached Joe Biden for 100 different things.
Republicans are saying that Trump hasn't done anything that rises to the level of impeachable offenses and that Democrats are overreaching badly and unfairly. Republicans are defending Trump vigorously on every single charge. Republicans are saying that the Epstein stuff is old news from 20 years ago and that Trump cooperated with law enforcement at the time when he called the police chief. Republicans are saying that the ICE enforcement is legal and constitutional and necessary to protect American borders. Republicans are saying that Trump has the right to enforce immigration law the way he sees fit as the chief executive of the country.
Look, there is so much bitter anti-Trump feeling. I mean, you showed it in your previous segment where you have Elizabeth Warren who's getting what she asked for, and she still has to attack Trump because even when he does what she wants, it's not good enough. So I think you've got this core group of Democrats who get up every morning and they know the answer is impeach Trump. They don't know what the question is, but they know what the answer is.
Republicans are basically defending every aspect of Trump's conduct and saying that Democrats are overreaching badly and being unfair. Republicans are saying that impeachment should only be used for truly serious offenses like bribery or direct violation of oath, and that what Trump has done does not rise to that level, and the whole thing is just incredibly chaotic and incredibly heated and incredibly polarizing and divisive. And all of this is happening in front of the entire nation and the entire world watching. ABC News is covering it extensively with special reports and analysis throughout the day.
And it appears a majority of Americans support the charges against the former president. An ABC News Ipsos poll shows 56% of respondents think former President Trump should be impeached and barred from running for federal office. White House correspondent Mary Alice Parks joins me now with more. Mary Alice, this poll shows a majority of Americans agree with this charge. So how important is that to the senators hearing these arguments?
I think it's incredibly important to Democrats. It's a big part of the reason, Diane, that we've seen Democrats move forward.
YouTube is streaming it live so anyone can watch the proceedings. Social media is erupting about it with people arguing furiously about whether Trump should be impeached. People are watching this live, and they're seeing the House basically tearing itself apart over impeachment. They're seeing Democrats making passionate cases that Trump should be impeached and removed from office. They're seeing Republicans defending Trump and attacking the impeachment effort as partisan and unfair. They're seeing the fundamental partisan divide that exists in America right now playing out on the House floor in real time. And it's dramatic, and it's heated, and it's absolutely chaotic. It's the kind of thing that makes people realize how divided the country really is and how little the two parties can agree on anymore. But here's the thing that's really important and that's really significant about all of this and about what actually happens. The impeachment measure stalls completely. It doesn't pass the House. The House debate happens, the speeches happen, the arguments happen, the rhetoric gets intense, but the vote either doesn't happen or the vote happens, but it falls short of the votes needed to pass the impeachment resolution. The House can't get enough votes to pass impeachment because some Democrats don't support it or because the math just doesn't work out. And even if the House did somehow pass impeachment, even if the House did manage to impeach Trump again, there's absolutely no way the Senate is going to convict him and remove him from office. There's no way whatsoever because the Senate is still controlled by Republicans, and Republicans are not going to vote to remove their own president from office. Republicans are not going to betray Trump. Republicans are not going to turn on their own party leader. Republicans are going to stick with Trump no matter what happens. Republicans are going to protect Trump because he's a Republican and he's their president. So the whole impeachment effort is basically just theater. It's basically performance for the Democratic base. It's Democrats trying to show their supporters that they're fighting back against Trump. But everybody knows it's not going to result in Trump being removed from office. And that's the infuriating thing for Democrats. That's the incredibly frustrating thing for Democrats and for Trump's critics. That's why Democrats are so upset and so angry about this situation, because Democrats have legitimate concerns about Trump's conduct. Democrats have legitimate reasons to think seriously about impeachment. Democrats have legitimate charges that could be brought against Trump based on the Epstein files, and based on Trump's knowledge of Epstein's crimes, and based on the ICE controversies, and based on all the chaos and dysfunction in the administration. But none of it matters because the Senate will never convict Trump. The Senate will never vote to remove Trump because Republicans control the Senate. And Republicans have demonstrated over and over that they are not going to vote against Trump no matter what he does or how serious the charges are. So Democrats are basically powerless. Democrats can impeach all they want, but it's not going to change anything. Trump is going to stay in office no matter what. Trump is going to finish his term. Trump is going to be protected by the Republican Senate. Let's actually understand what's happening here and what this impeachment effort really means and why it's happening now in February heading into the midterms. First, you need to understand that this is not the first time the House has tried to impeach Trump. Trump has been impeached before multiple times in his political career. Trump was impeached in 2019 over the Ukraine scandal and the phone call with the Ukrainian president where Trump asked him to investigate Joe Biden. Trump was impeached again in 2021 over January 6th in the riot at the Capitol when Trump incited a mob to storm Congress. Both times the Senate acquitted Trump. Both times Trump was not removed from office because the Senate was either controlled by Republicans or because enough Republicans voted to acquit him that Trump survived and got away from the charges. So, Democrats know from experience that impeaching Trump in the House is not going to result in his removal from office because the Senate is controlled by Republicans. But Democrats are doing it anyway because they feel like they have to. Democrats feel like they have to make a statement about Trump's conduct. Democrats feel like they have to show their base that they're fighting back and that they're trying to hold Trump accountable for his actions. Democrats feel like the charges against Trump are serious enough that the House needs to impeach him even if the Senate won't convict him. Now, what are the actual charges that Democrats are bringing against Trump? What are they specifically saying he did wrong? The charges are based on the Epstein files that have been released and on Trump's knowledge of Epstein's crimes and on Trump's efforts to suppress and hide information about the Epstein files. Democrats are saying that Trump knew about Epstein's crimes and didn't do enough to stop them or report them to authorities. Democrats are saying that Trump is trying to cover up evidence and hide information from the public. Democrats are saying that by trying to suppress the Epstein files, Trump is obstructing justice and abusing his power as president. Democrats are saying that Trump's conduct related to Epstein rises to the level of high crimes and misdemeanors under the Constitution. And Democrats also have charges related to IC and immigration enforcement and abuse of power. Democrats are saying that Trump's aggressive immigration enforcement has led to deaths and injuries, and that Trump has violated the rights of immigrants and asylum seekers. Democrats are saying that Trump is abusing the powers of the executive branch to enforce immigration policy in ways that violate due process and that violate constitutional rights. And Democrats are saying that all of this together, the Epstein stuff and the IC stuff and the chaos and the turnover and the dysfunction in the administration, all of this together constitutes grounds for impeachment and removal from office. Now, the Republican response to all of this is basically that Democrats are being partisan and that they're using impeachment as a political weapon to attack Trump and to take him down before the Pitts midterms. Republicans are saying that Trump didn't do anything wrong related to Epstein. Republicans are saying that Trump's comment to the police chief in 2006 was just Trump being supportive of law enforcement and that it doesn't prove anything sinister or that Trump was involved in covering things up. Republicans are saying that Trump has a right to suppress documents if he thinks they're protected by executive privilege or if he thinks they threaten national security. Republicans are saying that Trump's immigration enforcement is legal and constitutional, and that Trump has the authority to enforce immigration law the way he sees fit as the chief executive. Republicans are basically defending Trump on all the substantive charges. Republicans are saying that impeachment is a remedy that should only be used for truly serious offenses like bribery or direct violation of oath, and that what Trump has done does not rise to that level. Republicans are saying that Democrats are overreaching and being partisan, and you can see the partisan divide very clearly and very obviously. Democrats think Trump's conduct is serious. Democrats think Trump should be impeached and removed from office. Republicans think Democrats are just being partisan and using impeachment for political purposes. Republicans think the charges are not serious enough to warrant impeachment and removal. Republicans are defending Trump aggressively, and as long as Republicans control the Senate, Trump is not going to be removed from office no matter what the House does. That's just the reality of the political situation we're in right now. Now, let's look at the president from Trump's previous impeachments to understand what's likely to happen if he is impeached again. In February 2020, Trump was impeached by the House over the Ukraine scandal and the phone call with the Ukrainian president. The Senate held a trial where evidence was presented and arguments were made by both sides. The Senate voted on whether to convict Trump and remove him from office. The vote was 52-48 to acquit Trump on the first charge. One Republican, Mitt Romney from Utah, voted to convict Trump on one of the charges. So Trump got 52 Republican votes to acquit him on that charge, and Trump was acquitted. Trump survived the impeachment. Trump was not removed from office. Trump got away with it, basically. Then in January 2021, after the January 6th riot, and after Trump incited a mob to storm the Capitol, Trump was impeached again by the House for incitement of insurrection. This time, the Senate was controlled by Democrats. So, Democrats had the votes in theory to convict Trump if enough Republicans voted to convict him. And some Republicans did vote to convict Trump on the charge. 7 Republicans voted to convict Trump. So, the final vote was 57 guilty votes and 43 not guilty votes. But you need 67 votes to convict a president and remove him from office under the Constitution. That's a 2/3 majority. So Trump was acquitted again. Trump was 10 votes short of being convicted. Even with Democrats controlling the Senate, and even with 7 Republicans crossing over to vote to convict Trump, Trump still survived impeachment because he was not convicted by the required supermajority of 67 votes. It was one of the closest impeachment votes ever, but it still wasn't enough to remove Trump. So, the president is very clear and very obvious. Trump gets acquitted in the Senate. Trump survives impeachment. Republicans protect Trump no matter what. And that's what's going to happen again if the House impeaches Trump. Now, the Senate is controlled by Republicans. Republicans are going to vote to acquit Trump. Trump is going to survive. Trump is going to be vindicated in the Senate. And Democrats are going to be frustrated and angry that impeachment didn't work again for the 3rd time. But Democrats are doing it anyway. Democrats are impeaching Trump anyway because they feel like they have a constitutional responsibility to do so. Democrats are saying that they can't just sit back and do nothing, even if they know that impeachment will fail in the Senate. Democrats are saying that it's important to put on the record that Trump's conduct is wrong and that the House thinks he should be impeached and removed. Democrats are saying that impeachment is about more than just removing the president. It's about making a statement about what the House thinks the president did wrong and about what the House thinks should not be tolerated in a democracy. What's also interesting and significant is that this is happening just a few months before the midterms in November. This is happening in February of an election year, and that's politically significant because Democrats are trying to build momentum heading into the midterms. Democrats are trying to energize their base and get their supporters excited and engaged. Democrats are trying to say to voters that they're fighting back against Trump and that they're holding him accountable. Democrats are trying to use impeachment as a political weapon to rally their supporters for the midterm election and to show that they're willing to take on Trump. So, let's talk about what this impeachment effort really means and what the implications are for Trump and for the midterms and for American politics going forward and for the direction of the country. The first thing to understand is that failed impeachment actually helps Trump politically rather than hurting him. When the House impeaches Trump and the Senate acquits him, Trump gets to claim that he's been exonerated. Trump gets to say that the charges against him were baseless and that the American people have rejected the Democrats' effort to remove him from office. Trump gets to use the acquittal to energize his base and to claim that Democrats are just being partisan and trying to take him down unfairly. Trump gets to portray himself as a victim of a witch hunt. So impeachment actually benefits Trump politically even though it's meant to hurt him. It backfires on Democrats badly. The second thing is that this reveals the fundamental powerlessness of the House when the Senate is controlled by the opposite party. The House can impeach, but the Senate won't convict. The House can make arguments, but the Senate won't listen. The House is basically powerless to remove the president if the Senate is controlled by the opposing party because you need 2/3 of the Senate to convict, and that means you need to flip senators from the opposing party, and that's incredibly hard to do practically speaking. So the House is basically just going through the motions. The House is basically performing for the Democratic base. The House is basically saying to its supporters that is doing something even though it knows that something won't result in Trump's removal. The third thing is that this energizes Trump's base significantly. This actually helps Trump when Democrats try to impeach Trump. Trump supporters rally around him. Trump supporters see impeachment as a partisan attack. Trump supporters see impeachment as evidence that Democrats are trying to take Trump down and that they hate Trump. Trump supporters become more loyal to Trump and more committed to supporting him. Trump supporters become more motivated to vote for Trump and for Republicans in the midterms. So impeachment actually backfires on Democrats. It actually strengthens Trump politically. It actually energizes Trump's base and makes them more likely to vote for Trump in the midterms. The fourth thing is that this highlights the dysfunction in the partisan divide in Congress and in America more broadly. This shows how divided America is right now. This shows that Democrats and Republicans can't agree on basic facts about Trump's conduct. Democrats think Trump did something wrong. Republicans don't think Trump did anything wrong. Democrats want Trump impeached and removed. Republicans want to protect Trump. And the disagreement is so fundamental and so deep that there's no way to bridge it. There's no way to find common ground.